Supermicrocomputer is a stock that has had a significant pullback in recent months, falling by around 85% from its all-time high into this recent significant trough back in March 25, falling around 85%. Now since then it has taken off slightly, tried to move back up, and looks as if it's starting a medium-term uptrend. So this is a stock you definitely want to have on your watch list. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some key price levels, the trend of the stock, and where could be some good entry points if you're considering buying into SMCI. Let's take a look. So starting off on the monthly chart, we can see clearly that Supermicro was in a really good long-term trend, starting from the low in October 2018. And if we add a long-term trend line, we can see that the price respected this line for quite a while, mainly between October 2018 until July 22, where at that point, buyers came in strongly and bid the price up even further, creating an accelerated trend. And by marking up this new trend line, we can see how price pulled away from the longer term trend, with this trend in place from July 2022 up until the all-time high in March 24. Now, what's clear on the chart is that initially we had real steady progress with the trend, so a really nice healthy trend. But since this point here, July 2022, price really took off. If we look at here in January 2024, we had some euphoric buying. If you're familiar with trading stocks, you would have seen this time and time again, where the trend takes off away from the steady sort of 45-degree angle and starts to pull away to a point where it's just unsustainable. And particularly with these 2 months here, January 24 and February 24, these were big months and big moves. If we have a look at this one, in those 2 months, it moved up by almost 368%. So an enormous move that is clearly unsustainable. And we can mark up this area with the little box just to indicate the euphoric buying. So typically when we see stocks get overstretched like this, there's nearly always a correction, a pullback as the buying pressure runs out. And if we mark up this correction here with the red box, we can see that price pulled back from the all-time high around about 83%. Into this significant support level of around about $17, which is just here. So since then, Supermicro has found support that is trying to move back up again, creating a higher high here and a higher low there. It looks as if it's starting to build up a new medium-term uptrend. So based on this euphoric buying, the accelerated trend, and the significant pullback, is now the best time to buy into Supermicro. Let's look at some key price levels on the weekly chart to see where price is in relation to key levels. So on the weekly chart now, I'm going to mark it up with some significant price levels, which I think are of interest if you're thinking about trading or buying into this stock long term. So we've already got this $17 level here, which I think is a key level based on the fact that since the all-time high, it pulled back, and that was the point where price found support. It stopped falling and started to move back up. The next I want to mark up is $25, which corresponds to the low here, which was formed in February 2025. Next level is 36, which I'll mark up here, which corresponds to this peak in August 23. Next level is 50, which corresponds to this price action here, where price moves back up, finding resistance before falling away once again. Next level is 66, and that corresponds to this recent peak here, which was formed in February 2025. And the last one, of course, is the all-time high of $122, which was formed back in March 2024. So now we've marked up these key levels. It's a bit clearer to see where Supermicro is trading in relation to historical key levels. So right now, price action is between this level here, $25, and this level here of $35. So it looks as if, based on the price action, it has found support at the $17 level and is now trying to move back up. And using my trend tool, we can see since the low here, it's made a new peak. It's pulled back into this support level at $25, tried to push up through the $66 level, and now it's corrected and looking for support around about the $31 level. So based on these key price levels, if you were considering taking either a trade or investing and holding Supermicro long term, where could be a good entry point based on these price levels? I think the first price levels you can consider would be above $36 and under $50, which corresponds to this red zone here. But this would be higher risk. A more medium-term risk entry would be when price clears $50 and before it gets to the recent peak of $66, corresponding to this zone here. And for a lower risk entry, you may want to consider waiting until price clears this peak here of $66, but before it gets to this level here of 102. So you'd be entering the stock in and around this green zone here, which would be a relatively low risk entry. So if you were to enter in the red zone at the bottom, around about $36, there's a possible upside to the all-time high of 242%, which would be incredible, but high risk. A medium risk entry at the $50 level would give you an upside potential to the all-time high of 138%, which is great, and of course medium risk. And taking a low risk entry above this peak here of $66 would give you an upside potential of around about 83% to the all-time high, which is excellent and of course lower risk. This is probably the one I consider, this green zone here, 83% to the all-time high. If you found value in my analysis of Supermicro, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment down below. Perhaps you want to see more of these types of analysis, or perhaps you've got another stock in mind. Let me know by dropping a comment. Thanks for watching.